जयति पराशर सूनुः सत्यवती हृदय नन्दनो व्यासः यस्य आस्य कमलगणितं वाङ्मयम् अमृतं जगत्पिबति भुजग भोगा बहुद्यम्य हृद्यं निजभुजं दक्षिणं दक्षिणाद्यं ललितं धृक्त विज्ञानमुद्रं भज भज अनन्तमित्यालपन्तं प्रणतवान् प्राणिनां प्राणभूतं प्रणतिभिः प्रीणये पूर्णबोधम् भवदवोष्णेन तातप्यमानान् भुवि परं नाथम् अप्रेक्षमाणान् भुवनमन्येन चान्येन दोष्णा भवतु भीर्मानिति न संकयन्तम् प्रणतवान् प्राणिनां प्राणभूतं प्रणतिभिः प्रीणये पूर्णबोधम् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. Houston, we have lift off. But this upliftment is not just Artemis escaping the Earth's gravitation to basically reach the outer circles. This upliftment is Upanishadi. And today, my Adhyatmic Guru, your Guru, Dr. Bannanje Govindacharya has shown us the path as highlighted by Acharya Natha. Guruji never was interested in teaching me the traditional Vedas and Upanishads. He had a directive for me right from my graduate studies under him, with the culmination of which was the movie Madhvacharya. Took more than 3 years. And the only promise I got from him was that for every shot, he should be in front of me. So, whatever I am going to say today is the reminiscence of what Guruji taught me and blessed me with. Yes, Houston, we have lift off. How do you basically see the spirituality and Adhyatma in it? How many words does the word Houston have? How many alphabets does it have? 7. H-O-U-S, T-O-N. What does 7 signify? It basically signifies the 7 swaras. Sa-re-ga-ma-pa-da-ni. And it signifies the 7 taras, chandas. Oh, so it has a swara and a tara. Not only that, it also signifies the 7 chroma that we see, the 7 colors we see, that we are taught as Vibhya. This 7 is through which Bhagavan has enlightened us in this land called Houston. In every one of you, the visualization of this Saptadhatus, the 7 connecting features starting from the skin to the marrow, is basically the enumeration of Bhagavan Narayana. He is there in every one of us as complete Purna, and we are there with him as very finite Santa. He exists as infinite Ananta. So what are we seeing here? We are seeing the Vishwarupa Darshana of Narayana in each one of you. And each one of you have a name, and that is the Vishnu Sahasranama. You don't have to go anywhere. Why? Because through this 7 factorial comes Narayana telling you, hey, you know what? That 7 you can reach, but you got to get rid of the 6. Get rid of the 6? Yeah. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. Get rid of it. seventh one, which is myself, will become visible to your inner eye. And that is the type of this meditative land, the Tapovana, called as Houston, in which the epicenter, because of the blessings of Sri Shugunendra Sripadaru, you are here today, and Guruji is speaking through me. I am just moving my mouth. So please do not mistake that I am saying all this. I am not. Guruji speaks, I move my mouth. Inside Guruji, Acharya Madhva speaks. Inside Acharya Madhva, Narayana speaks. Naham karta hari karta. Until that is ingrained in everybody, you will never be able to surpass a big gate called ignorance. Because with ignorance comes this three-letter wonderful thing called EGO. In order for D to come in the end and E to go, you need to give up that E. Even that comes in three flavors like the ice cream, right? Strawberry, orange, and then butter pecan or whatever. What is that? I, me, myself. So when you factorize this and go to the very beginning, you will know where the challenge is. The challenge is I, me, myself, I, me, myself. That's the region. Acharya Madhva made it so beautifully. Naham karta hari karta. If he wills, I shall act. So saying that, oh my God, I should have never done that, is a mark of ignorance. You can neither do nor not to do anything. Why? Because in all these 6 factors that we discussed, him as the 7th is saying, Ahamasmi, I am here, don't forget. So this forgetfulness is where ignorance seeps in. And that is the reason Acharya Bannanje so beautifully coined probably the greatest theorem. I will tell it to you in Kannada first. Iravu sampattalla yovina arivu. Existence is not the treasure. The awareness of the existence is the treasure. The word existent itself is a beautiful word because existence signifies only the present. Atato Brahma Jignasa. That is the wisdom of this entire existence. Because, did God exist? That is a very foolish question because God doesn't exist in the past. God does not exist in the future. God is always in the presence. Once that time dimension is understood, who actually existed in the past and the future? Agnani called Purna Prasad basically says, this happened yesterday and it's going to happen tomorrow. But the real Jnani, Purna Prasad, which is Acharya Madhva, tells us that is a fallacy because time is always in the present when the all-encompassing energy that seeps through everything, Narayana, Nara, Ayana, seeps through everything. And that is the reason we have that wonderful theorem from the Upanishad. Antarbahishcha tatsarvam vyapya narayana sthitah. This is like the Pythagoras theorem. And you can basically put this in an equation. I'll show you. All of you have encountered this in your high school mathematics. Whether you loved it or you hated it, you had to pass in order to come here. So I know you have seen it and I'll remind you. It is the dreaded quadratic equation, right? Ax squared plus bx plus c. But the only thing we were taught is how to find the solution for it. And then here is the solution, by heart it, and then vomit it in the question paper. You have the correct answer, you get your 98%, and your father and mother will say, my son or daughter is passed with distinction. Apart from that, what is the secret? The secret behind it is what the Upanishad shows. A, B, C, all three are constants. X is the only variable. X is the jiva. A, B, C are the three states in which Bhagavan manifests himself, herself, or itself. The state of awakeness, the state of dream, and the state of sleep. Yachara, Kanasu, Nidra. As who? As Vishwa. You're all awake. Taijasa, the beautiful dream state. And Prajna, the best thing, sleep, where you don't even know that anything belongs to you. Those are the A, B, C, and X is the variable. X is the jiva. How does Paramatma handle this? If anybody remembers the solution to this quadratic equation, it will be good, but I'll give it to you anyway. It says plus or minus B, it is in the state of dream. B is dream, right? Taijasa. What's the beauty about the dream? When you are dreaming, you think it is real. After you wake up, you know it is not real and you become sad. Square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. The denominator is very important because the a, which actually signifies echara, wakefulness, comes in two flavors. Vayu jivottama, harisarvottama. This is the way quadratic equation has to be understood if a complete wholesome conceptualization needs to be experienced, as Acharya Madhva says. Experiential evidence, Anubhava Satya. Without this, when you actually try to learn the very construct of the universe, an example of which I provided you this through this equation, you think it is meaningless. I can bet you 100% that 98% of you basically had a thought, what use is this equation? Am I going to use it to solve the problems of the world? We didn't have an answer. Upanishad gave the answer. Well, Upanishad doesn't belong to us because it was written in a foreign language called Sanskrita. So, let it go. So, any of the Sankhya Shastras you take, whether it is numerical mathematics, algebra, trigonometry, calculus, or any of this, you will see that there is that hidden message. And one great scientist, mathematician who saw this very clearly in our recent times was Ramanujan. Ramanujan did not see equation for the sake of equations. He saw the nature expressing itself in the Sankhya Shastra as described by Kapila Muni in Bhagavata. To whom? To his own mother. When one looks at any of the scriptures, you need to look at it as a Vishwadhomuka, universal vision. And the person who actually made that visible, universal, was Guru Dr. Bannanje Govindacharya. Without his interpretation, clarification, and articulation, the entire Upanishad would have been just blind faith practiced by some people who are afraid that if you do not continue the Vedic tradition of your ancestors, Krishna, who has no other better business, is going to come and curse you. Another great fallacy Guruji always used to mention is, if there are godly figures and Bhagavan who are throwing the sharpa towards me, I do not want those gods. How could you say that he curses you and he shows himself as a Bhakta Paradina? It is impossible. This Ajnana needs to be gotten rid of. Guruji used to stress that every time. Now, finally, I've been given 15 minutes, so I got to conclude within it. Otherwise, Prasannacharya will not be very prasanna. So, for that reason, I want to speak on one last very important concept that Guruji, put in all of us, especially his direct students. You all saw the launch of Artemis. Who designed the entire ecosystem? The two natural gases combining, ignited, and then reaching the velocity, the escape velocity to go outside the gravitational pull of the earth. Each of this is beautifully explained, the Akarshana Shakti, Sankarshana Shakti, and then Akarshana Shakti, Chamahi, Aryabhatta's theorem, everything, but nobody cares about it anyway. Who designed this? Why does electricity flow from a high potential to low potential to equalize the potential? Why does dharma come and then destroy adharma in order to establish the universal normalcy? When you actually look at all this cannot happen in random. Two people who do not believe in randomness are, one is Albert Einstein, and the second one is a servant of Albert Einstein called Purna Prasad. Randomness doesn't exist. Vedic science does not support randomness. It is unscientific. Avaijnanika. There is a reason for every occurrence. Some we understand, some we don't. Just because we cannot conceptualize a natural occurring, a divine work because of our limited intellect, branding it as nonsense or unscientific is an exhibition of our ignorance. When we become aware of this exhibition and we are aware to make sure that this ignorance does not trouble us, then we are on the path of Upanishati. Houston, we have liftoff. Om Swasti.